Hey all, as well as being your host for day one of Build, I'm also the Green Cloud Advocacy Lead at Microsoft. And some of you may have heard of Microsoft's broader sustainability mission, using our technology to help the planet, going carbon negative, and our recent biodiversity initiative. And in fact, I'm speaking later on today with Brian Janus, our GM for Data Center Energy and Sustainability, and also Lucas Joppa, our Chief Environmental Officer. But years before all of these initiatives, we had a set of grassroots employee-led green teams all across Microsoft, and it now comes under the umbrella of the worldwide sustainability community. And I have on the call today some of the chapter leads. Welcome to the show, everyone.
Hi.
Thank you very much.
Hey, Azim.
Hiya. So why don't you just go ahead and introduce yourselves? I think we agreed on alphabetical order at the start. So Clara.
Yeah, I can start. So my name is Clara, as Azim said. Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm a technical specialist working at Microsoft for almost 3 years. And a couple of years ago, I created a Portuguese chapter with my colleague Matilde, who is on the call with us today. And I'm also a membership manager for the worldwide sustainability community.
I'll go next.
Yes, Denaida.
Hi again. Thank you again for having us here today, Azim. So my name is Denaida. I'm based out in Milan, in Italy. I came across the worldwide sustainability community fairly recently, and then I noticed we didn't have a local chapter or a local community, and so I decided to go ahead and create one. Other than that, I've been with Microsoft for 6 years and 1 day today, and I am a modern workplace consultant. Thank you.
Hi, Azim. Thanks for having us. My name is Matilde. I'm a premier field engineer at Microsoft. I've been for almost 4 years here. Back in 2018, me and Clara, we created the Portuguese sustainability community, and I'm currently working as a solution specialist in our worldwide sustainability community.
So I guess that's me next. I'm Olaf Hagerström from Microsoft in Sweden, and we have probably created the latest Greenwood chapter in Sweden. Me, myself, been with Microsoft for just 8 years, I think it's 2 days ago, and I'm a surface specialist, so focusing on the hardware stuff.
So then it's me, I'm Sebastian. I'm a technical account manager for the public sector in Germany by day. By night, I'm also the co-chapter lead for Germany and sustainability community platform manager for the community.
Awesome. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. So I've got a number of questions for you, but if you're listening to this and you want to ask questions to our chapter leads, please remember to head to mybuild.microsoft.com, and you can ask us a question in the Q&A widget on that page. So let me start off with you, Clara. What is the worldwide sustainability communities?
Yeah, so the worldwide sustainability community, as you said in the beginning, is a global group of Microsoft employees that are committed to creating a positive environmental change. I just want to emphasize that this is entirely led by Microsoft employees, and the mission is to identify and act on areas where grassroots and employee-driven engagement can be an effective mechanism for change in a sustainable space, not only inside Microsoft, but also beyond.
Oh, yeah, fantastic. So let me ask this one to Sebastian. So how did it start in the first place? Or how did all of this stuff start in the first place? And how quickly has it grown?
Yes, as you mentioned before, a few years ago, a few local groups formed by themselves. It was around 2 years ago. And luckily, Drew and Holly from Redmond, they were able to connect the groups and brought them all together. And now we have nearly 20 local chapters across Europe, North America, Central America, Asia, and Oceania. And now we're also going for South America and Africa to be next.
Oh, that's amazing. Did we manage to get to the point where we're showing a map of the of the chapters. I don't think we did actually in the end. And Drew and Holly, you mentioned, they are the global leads of the worldwide sustainability community. How many people are there right now? I think I've heard certain numbers, but how many people would you say are in total the worldwide sustainability communities?
I can take that. 2,600 growing. Yeah.
2,600. That's really, really good. So let me go to Matilda. So what are some of the things that the global worldwide sustainability community do? Like, what are some examples of what you do as part of that role?
Yeah, thanks for the question. So we are doing quite a lot. So I'm going to highlight some of the most important ones. So obviously, we all connect through Microsoft Teams. This is our tool in order to share knowledge across the globe. As we mentioned before, we are in many different locations. So some of the things that we do, I'll start with the speaker series. This is one of our very first programs, and we bring in speakers monthly from a wide variety of topics in sustainability. So we go from floating aqua farms to green investing. And the goal here is really to educate employees in different aspects of sustainability, but also to provide follow-up opportunities. So beyond your everyday job, create more interest about the topic. A couple more things that we do. So we run this sustainability 1 week hackathon. So basically a very intensive collaboration event where people bring their ideas and try to make them into life around sustainability topics. After this, we also have our sustainability hub, so our former called User Voice. And this is where we give Microsoft employees a voice and a platform for them to share ideas on how the company can be more sustainable, and also creating opportunities for employees to participate directly. So, for example, if you have an idea of something you saw in your office that you think would be impactful in a sustainable way, if you changed it, you can either add it or you can go and vote on it if someone already had a similar idea. And I'll also like to mention one more, and the last one is the action box. So the worldwide sustainability community created this platform to give employees a way to take action around sustainability. So this is a repository of employee-led projects all across the company, so that we can take part in them. And this can be things from software development, it can be around events, office improvements, or even something more specific to a business group that has a specific ask around sustainability. So these are just some of the things that we wanted to highlight.
That's great. I have signed up for at least one of the projects on Action Box. I think I missed the sustainability talk on floating aqua farms. Did you say floating aqua farms? I think I must have missed that one. So I'll definitely try and catch up on that one myself. And just for everybody listening, Microsoft has this 1 week a year where everybody in the firm works on what we call the 1 week hack. And so we've now got like a sustainability focused hack, and I think there's some colleagues and friends of mine that worked on that also. So really exciting stuff. Given that those are some of the things the worldwide sustainability community do to drive successes, do you think you can give me some examples of successes within your own chapters? Maybe let's start off with Clara.
Yeah, that is a hard question because we have so many activities that I really liked. But if I have to choose, I would say our vegetable gardens. We have these small beds where we grow vegetables that are on our rooftop, and it's pretty amazing. And I really enjoy that project. Yeah.
That's amazing. I think actually one of the things I've been doing a lot recently right now is gardening as well. You can't see, it's not on camera right now, but just out of shot is quite a few little tomato plants and a couple of lemon trees in the corner there as well. So yeah, definitely vegetable gardening. And I think it also teaches you a lot. Seeing things grow, I think, is quite a magical experience. So thank you for that. Denaida, I think you've got some good stuff as well. No, should we go to Matilda?
Yeah. So like Clara was saying, we do have quite some things that we are working on. I would like to highlight some of the workshops that we run locally, for example, to promote sustainability in everyday life of employees. So we have ran workshops around zero waste living, plant-based diet, at-home farming, especially now that everyone is in quarantine. And so the idea here is really to try to take small steps into everyday lives of the employees, small changes that we can all do and hopefully have a greater impact down the road.
Awesome. And I think Danaida's back now. Maybe you can give us some examples of your successes. And if you've got more, don't feel you have to limit yourself to one. If you all want to give a second example, let's let everybody know all the successes that we're having.
Thank you, Sim. So yes, as I mentioned before, the Italian chapter is fairly new, but we were founded right at the beginning of March with a total lockdown looming ahead. Nevertheless, we managed to use this new created space to have all our energies converge in there and create some initiatives on sustainability. So right now we have 3 running in parallel. The first one is a journey to make our offices plastic-free and single-use item-free. And the other 2 are to lower our use of energy and water in our 2 offices.
And that's amazing. I really annoys me when I have to use single-use plastic. So it's amazing that we kind of getting rid of all that stuff. It's quite annoying. Let's go to Ola. Do you have some do you have some examples?
Well, I don't have so much to share for the moment in actual actions that we have taken so far, and that's mostly because we are very new to it. But speaking to some of my colleagues, they are super excited about this. We already have a plan for how we're going to communicate it internally. And I'd also like to highlight a little bit what's to come later this afternoon, because we do have a Swedish company talking about what we at Microsoft actually is doing with our customers as well, with Vattenfall and the project around IoT. And that was presented internally in Sweden a few months ago. So I know that everybody is super excited about sustainability. And I know next time we talk this year or a year from now, I think we're going to have a lot of projects in Sweden.
Yeah, amazing. I'm very excited to see what you're going to do in Sweden. And again, I'll be interviewing Vattenfall later on. And it's really exciting stuff. The whole kind of Nordics is really doing some amazing stuff in this area. Sebastian, do you have some examples?
Yeah, of course. In addition to all the great projects we already had that we ported to other parts of the world, to Germany, Ireland, we also went out, we as employees, planted more than 1,000 trees ourselves, in addition to the already running reforestation projects from Microsoft. And we also went out, replaced the single-use cups and the plastic paper cups we had in the campus with reusable, sustainable materials. And also, we localized the speaker series to the German-speaking markets, to Austria and Germany, of course. And we replicated a lot of the ideas across the various teams and across the globe.
Yeah, fantastic. So tree planting as well. So was this a physical tree planting that you were doing? Or I know we also do this mass tree plantings of, yeah, let me know.
Microsoft already has various projects everywhere that are really massive and planting across a lot of trees already. But we as employees, we want to get out as well. We wanted to do our part, get our hands dirty, and planted those trees ourselves. We dug up the holes, put the trees in, and it was actually a lot of fun. A lot of people from the campus came together, and you met a lot of new faces, and just had a great day outdoors.
That's brilliant. You're giving me goosebumps. I love when it's not so digitally distant from us, when we're there right with it, with the earth, planting trees, doing good stuff, and then that's really empowering. I love it. So let me kind of ask another question. So this is the amazing work that you've been doing yourself, and one of the things I get asked quite frequently as the Green Cloud Advocacy lead, as I speak to communities, is people are asking how can they start their own green teams in their own companies. And I thought, given that we have such I want to explain to people what we've got on Microsoft. They're often shocked that we have such a large community and there's so many green teams happening right there. Is there advice that you can give people who want to start green teams in their companies? Maybe let's start off with Clara.
Yeah, for sure. One of the things that was most useful, at least for our chapter, was to find allies, like find executive sponsors and find people and colleagues who share the same passion as you. We usually say the build your tribe part of the community, but it's really important, and especially to have people from different backgrounds. Like, we are lucky because we have so many different people working at Microsoft that work in different technologies, that have different experiences. So when we bring all these experience and backgrounds together, we get a rich conversation where amazing ideas pop up. So I would say that definitely this, for me at least, it's an essential part for building a community.
Yeah, great advice. I think next up is Ola. Do you have some advice, Ola, for people starting their own green teams?
I think, take a look at your own company's sustainability goals and what you are saying, and also it doesn't have to be big things that you have to do. And like the other one said, look for people around you and what they are doing.
Yeah, so aligning with our own sustainability goals, because Microsoft has its own sustainability goals. And so if your company has its own sustainability goals, then you can align to that, and then that's how you can support the creation of your chapter. Great advice. Yeah,
absolutely. And I mean, if you go to your own websites, 99.9% of the companies today do have a sustainability goal or roadmap or whatever it might be.
Yeah, great point. They do. So Sebastian, how about you?
As mentioned already, go out, find allies. Don't be shy to reach out to different stakeholders at different levels, and make sure they're actually involved and held accountable to those goals that you publish on your website or that you publish internally, and try to work together and find solutions.
I have a saying, which is there's always a bigger fish. So look for stakeholders, and then look higher, and there's always somebody in the chain who will support you and help you along. So Matilda, let's go to you.
Yeah, so we get this question a lot, and I believe that sometimes people come to us or ask about it. They're a little frustrated with, I wish my organization would do this or would do that in terms of sustainability. But I think we should turn the question around and what can I do to make my organization more sustainable? Because it starts with small steps, with baby steps, but it can grow. Like Clara said, look for people, share the passion. Sebastian said, look for stakeholders, but you need to start by asking yourself, what can you do to improve your organization's sustainability? So I would say that would be a good place to start.
Yeah, great point. Always bring solutions to people, and you can start off. It's not a problem to start off small, is it? Because you start off small and it just grows and grows and grows and grows and grows. Yeah. Denaida.
Yes, I'm going to take this one step earlier compared to what Matilda said and to what was my experience, actually. If you have no idea where to start, which is sometimes the case, that's perfectly fine. So my advice to that is strike up a conversation. It doesn't matter the setting. It doesn't matter to whom you're talking to. Just start talking to people about this idea you have and how to make progress in it. And I did this myself just a few months ago. I must have talked to 30 plus people every day, multiple times. Sometimes two of those people were Matilde and Clara, whom I really thank for their motivation. And what I learned is that sustainability is on everybody's mind, really. Everybody is doing something already in their own private life. And many people also told me that. for them, it would be so good to have someone or something that coordinated activities in the workplace so they could contribute to them. They would love to contribute to such activities. And so to me, that was enough motivation to go back and create this space where we could do these things together.
Brilliant. So inspiring. So what can we, so we've got, let me put it this way. So what can you do if you don't have support from your own managers and leaders? A lot of us at Microsoft do, but a lot of people in different companies don't. Like, what are some of your advice for people who don't have that level of support? I think let's go to Ola first.
Yeah, I think it goes back a little bit to what I commented previously. But okay, what are you publicly stating as an organization or company for sustainability? Align to that, and maybe you don't get the support from your closest managers, but for sure you have people in your organization who do care about those things. So seek support from them, and by the end of the day, management at the top do care about those things.
Yeah, true. Very smart. Very, very, very good point. How about Clara?
Yeah, I would say that building a business case is important if you don't have this type of support. So having a strong sustainability strategy is good for the planet, and that should be our first priority, of course, but it's also good for your financial performance. And we are living a moment, especially here in the European Union, where we are seeing business leaders starting to demand like a transition to a more resilient and greener economy. So if you don't build this strong sustainability strategy, it is a missed opportunity for your company, right? So I think that building a business case is really important in this scenario.
Absolutely. There is no future. There is no future that isn't green. And I mean that from you cannot imagine a path to the future which isn't there, because to be green is to be efficient, is to be clean, and that's the future we're heading towards. Anyway, it's a missed opportunity, as you say. So Danida, let's go to you. What's some of your advice?
Well, I really like this question, Asim. So I'd like to put my answer quite bluntly. I would argue there is no organization today that can afford not to have a sustainability goal somewhere. Maybe they're not obvious, they're not your company's mission statement, but they have to be there somewhere. And with this in mind, if you really need to bring the topic at the attention of your managing line, then do your due diligence. Gather some data on how your company operates and what resources it uses and how it uses them and where they come from and so on. And then make a point on showing them that if we're intentional about sustainability, we can have an impact even with small actions. And then go back to this bigger picture and say something like, imagine if we do this intentionally all the time as a company, what would that impact be?
Yeah, really good point. Definitely bringing it to a way that phrasing in a way which people in that position will listen to your argument is definitely the right way to go. I agree. Sebastian, I think you're the last one.
Yeah, and by providing the data, collecting the information, building business cases, you don't only make them listen to you, you always make sure they don't have an excuse not to do it. They have to act on it, and you can even showcase cost savings and more sustainability business in general with the data you collected and with the business case, and you can hold them accountable again with this data set.
Awesome. Yeah, and you've been running the oldest chapter, I believe, or you've been part of some of the chapters for quite a while now. So that's really good advice, and I think that's great advice from all of you, because you've been in the trenches. You've actually achieved this. You scraped this together from your own hands, and that's just really amazing advice from all of you. But one of the questions I'd really like to ask, and I'd really love asking this question from people in kind of the climate space, because it's quite tough. I find it quite tough sometimes. You're dealing with these quite big issues. You're trying to do something positive about it. Sometimes you're not getting the support that you need, both even from your own community and other people. How do you stay motivated through the tough times? I think I'm really interested to know how everybody, what their mechanisms are for dealing with that. I think let's start off with Sebastian. Let's go with you first.
Yeah, we actually are really, really lucky at Microsoft. Not only our senior leadership team, but also our direct managers, our peers. They really create a culture and a great climate of collaboration, of growth. We actually require to learn and grow all the time within our daytime jobs, but it makes it easier for us to grow within the sustainability or climate change area as well. And we have the freedom to just go out and do things that we want to do, to get involved and to have an impact. We don't have to be afraid at Microsoft to get fired because we are annoying some managers or some leaders with our views or with our ideas, with our business cases, with our projects. So we're really in a lucky place.
Awesome. Very good point. We definitely have a culture that supports these kind of activities. At least I feel supported as well. So Clara, let's go to you.
Yes, Sebastian said we are really lucky because we are part of a company that celebrates people who work in grassroots communities like ours. And I would say that also think about the bigger picture, right? Even if it is overwhelming, dealing with environmental issues is so bigger than us and it's so complex. But look at the bigger picture. It's not about you, right? It's about the building a sustainable world where all species can thrive, not only human beings. So it's not about us only. So I would say think besides you.
Yeah, think bigger than you. Beautiful. Ola, let's go to you.
Yeah, it's quite new to this community. I would say that what really inspires me is also to actually start the morning by browsing through the different chapters that we have in Teams and see the different conversations that comes up, or looking through some of the old recordings from those speaker series. It's truly inspiring to see, and like someone said as well, it doesn't always have to be big things or large projects.
Yeah, agreed. And it makes you feel so much less lonely. Although there's 2,600 of us all over the world, we're distributed. So coming in online and seeing those Teams channels and seeing the conversations on there in our kind of our worldwide sustainability community it really makes you feel less alone. Denaida, let's go to you. How do you stay motivated?
I'm going to answer on the same lines, actually. I'm going to point to the power of community. With the local chapters and the worldwide community as well, we've created this whole that is bigger than the sum of the parts, right? And so if you're ever feeling frustrated or can't find a way to make something happen, just go back to your connections and share your experiences, whether they're failures or big successes. And this will provide this virtuous cycle that we so much need, so we can draw inspiration from each other and then go back to our local chapters and make more things happen.
Yeah, very good. True. Couldn't agree more. Matilda, let's go to you.
Yeah, great advice from my peers. And I really think it's to think about the end game. It can be really frustrating sometimes trying to be in this space where you want to drive sustainability, and then sometimes you turn on the news and they're not the best, or you're trying to accomplish something and there are sometimes setbacks. So I think this is one of the biggest challenges of our generations and for decades to come. So think of the end game. Think 10, 20, 50 years from now, where do we want to be? And a little step that we take today can take us really further down the road. For example, I think when we look back 2 years ago when we started the community, we had no idea of the things that we would be able to accomplish. And these all started with baby steps. So think of the end game, where we want to be a few decades from now, and that would help you stay motivated through some more frustrating times.
And that's amazing. This has been a wonderful conversation. I want to thank all of you for being my guests, but actually, more importantly, I just want to thank you all for the work that you do. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you, guys. Now I'm going to hand this back to Christina at the desk.
All right, thank you all so much. That was a great conversation. I feel like I learned a lot about sustainability and got a lot out of that. And thank you for joining our next up. We're going to talk to the teams to talk about green teams on Microsoft Teams. And as a reminder, if you would like to learn more about developing for Microsoft Teams, I can say Teams like 6 times in a row if that helps anyone. You can head over to Microsoft Learn to level up your skills so that you can take what you just learned back to your team. And speaking of teams, and in case anyone is keeping track, I have said the word teams about 9 or 10 times in that wrap, but we're going to say it a lot more because up next, we've got top tips for remote meetings from the Teams team.